Okay, we'll go ahead with it.
So eating right,
I can handle that.
this is like not my favorite topic. Seniors need fewer calories. I don't know, we should have had that first on the list when we just served donuts, but that's okay. Have an apple and then go off with it, it'll be good. But food choices are critical, and I think that's true. I find with myself, I'm really into things like chocolate and sugar and all those good things that I shouldn't have, and potato chips and all of that. My whole system just really doesn't accept it as well as it did several years ago. So I think we have to be smart about that and just take our time and not realize we can't do as much as we did in that area, but still enjoy those things. 50% of fruits and vegetables, grains, protein-rich foods, fish, lean meat. I don't know about all of you. I find I'm not eating as much meat as I used to. I eat more chicken. I'm eating, more lean type protein things. And I think it's indicative if we go to any of the stores, certainly you go to Mariano's, which I'm sure we all love, and you see so many things available that are ready and prepared to go. So if you're by yourself or there's two of you and don't have a family anymore, you don't have to do as much cooking as you used to. Or you can buy that already done chicken breast or already done meat or the dinner for $6, and usually it goes for twice, so 2 meals. So I think it's good. Plate for older adults, so it kind of shows us what the percentages are that we should have on that.
Is it possible to turn
light on?
the front?
So you can see the screen.
The front light so we can see the
What a fabulous idea. Watch it or you'll be in charge of the whole.
There it is. There.
How's that, girls?
There.
Come right in, don't be bashful. We have more chairs. Carolyn will help you find a spot. We have evaluation. Come right in, don't be bashful. Is that better?
Yes.
Okay. The first part wasn't that fabulous, so you didn't miss too much. So we're kind of back to listen to your body. And I think it's interesting when it says, if you don't feel well, sort of evaluate the reason for that. Try to keep consistent about doing your yearly checkups. We all have that Medicare annual checkup. And I think it's very good to do that. I kind of let mine slip last year, and I was getting towards the end of the year, and I needed prescription renewals, so I messaged my doctor, who was wonderful about it, and he messaged me right back and said, I can only give you one refill. You need to come in for that update from Medicare. So I thought, well, that's good. He's given me a little push, so I did. I went. And I think it's good to be friends with your pharmacist if you're going to the pharmacy. And know also that depending on the drug plan you're on, that a lot of times mailing in for your prescriptions is really much more economical, and it's a lot easier, and you get 3 months supply at the time. But like it says, your body doesn't lie. Sometimes you do need a break. Being stubborn can cause you harm. Gee, that's true, I think, for all of us. I think it pays to pay attention to things. We often are so used to, we need something in a higher cabinet, so we just get our little 2-step ladder out and get up there. I know for myself, I don't do that quite as quickly as I used to. I try to think about it first. I mentioned I have a puppy, I've almost tripped over him a couple of times. I try to pay much more attention than I used to. And then sometimes I step back and I think, oh my gosh, I'm really getting old. But that really isn't getting old, it's getting smarter. I mean, that's what we need to do, is to be smart about things. Whenever you go to appointments, I think it's very good to bring a list of your medications. Or a lot of doctors will ask you, unless of course you have a whole truckload full, but to bring them in a bag so they can really look at the actual container themselves. And if things are bothering you, if you have issues, you're not comfortable, you're not sleeping right, you've got a new medication, I think it's a good thing to write that down. Make a note of it, and also talk to your doctor about it, but you can then really give them feedback. I think part of the The problem is that we let things slide by thinking, oh, it'll be fine tomorrow or next week or whatever. But sometimes there's adverse reaction to things, and we need to really address it. And listen to the experts, not your neighbor. This is huge where I live. I'm in Sun City. We have 5,500 houses. We have all kinds of seniors in there. Everyone loves to say, come right in, please. Everyone likes to say, oh, I've done this, my neighbor has this, or my neighbor has that. And basically, evaluate what they're telling you. Evaluate the person they're suggesting you bring in, or the doctor, or whatever. I remember my mother said to me one time, oh, I think I'm going to have you take me to the pain doctor. And I said, well, for what reason? And she said, oh, I've been having a little arthritis pain, which she'd had it as long as I could ever remember. And I said, well, how'd you decide on this doctor? Oh, she named off like 4 people she knew that went there. And I said, okay, well, we won't be going. So there we are. Choose who you spend time with. I think as we age, again, I apologize speaking for myself, I think we become more particular who we're going to spend our time with. Time is valuable, and you want to spend it with people that are engaging to you, people that are enjoyable to be with, old friends you've had. You know, as we see friends of ours aging and changing, sometimes it's very difficult to continue to spend the kind of time you did with them before, have that conversation with them, maybe you need some assistance, that type of thing. But it does say also to splurge, and I think that's good. You know, take some luxury time for yourself, or a little snack, or something that's going to make you happy, a little something extra. Go to the spa and get a massage. A lot of things that maybe we haven't always done in the past. We have time to do it now. It's good to treat ourselves. Ask for help. We've talked about that a little bit already. Very important to be able to ask for help. And find people that can help you. If you have a reliable and trustworthy handyman, a good person to call on when you have something. Have a list of things ready to go. Nothing worse than just calling somebody, asking them, or one of your kids, and saying, oh, you know, I've got a problem with this faucet, could you come over and fix it? And he leaves, and then the next day you call and say, oh, incidentally, the ice maker's not working in the freezer, you know, that kind of thing. Nothing aggravates adult children more than that. Believe me, I'm one, it's happened. It's, but I think, you know, getting a consistent list, trying to keep things together are important, but to ask for help. And do some work, work out, exercise, walk, talk, keep yourself engaged, and play with a pet. Don't get a puppy though. Lots of work. Engage your brain. I think if you enjoy computer games, if it's something you've done, that's one option. Some of my family, my husband had Alzheimer's, my mother had dementia. The first thing the neurologist said to me is, does your husband ever play crossword puzzles? Does he do other games? And I said, no, he's never done those. And she said, well, don't start. Come in if you'd like. We have a chair.
I did not mean to interrupt you. I was just looking at the setup because I'm in here later and I want to find out what I need to do.
Not a problem.
I apologize.
No interruption at all. So, you know, as the neurologist said to me, if it's not something you've done your whole life or not something you've been used to, sometimes if you're having some memory issues, it becomes more confusing. So I think that's a good lesson, but I also think there's a lot of more simplified things that we can do. If you have simplified computer games, if you like to play cards, you can play it on your computer. Puzzles, books, crossword, art projects. I know several seniors that we've had as clients and are related to friends and so forth that started to paint and draw when they were like in their 60s, early 70s. And they've done beautiful, beautiful work. It's something they always sort of enjoyed or had a little bit of interest in. And in today's world, there's so many places that have classes or have evening options, or you can go in the afternoon and really take up a new hobby. It's quite fun. Reading, of course, is always good. And books on tape are wonderful. So that is sort of an excellent interim, and there's a whole list of things you can get if reading is difficult or you're having any kind of eye issues or perhaps difficulty tracking things from some memory issues. Books on tape are just great. If you're driving in your car, it's good to have a cassette. A lot of people like that. Gardening, of course. Cards again. Playing with your grandchildren. That always, of course, perks all of us up to engage. So I sort of like this. Plan for the future, because that's where we're going to spend the rest of your life. So there's no choice, is what it is. So now we're going to talk a little bit about retirement options and places to go. So at Elderwerks, what we do is we help seniors, families, and professionals finding any kind of services you need. So we're the referral source for everything. And if you don't leave with anything else today from this wonderful event, just know that we can help you with anything. All of the vendors that are here and more, we work with. We know them, we're involved and engaged with them. So we can always help you to be pointed in the right direction. We're not for profit, we don't charge for our services. We also have a sister company owned by Jennifer Paxson, and that is moving, senior move managers, moving, reorganizing, decluttering, estate sales. We do all of that as well. So once you're starting to think, gee, I'm not sure if I'm going to stay in my house as it is now. Many of us have lived in our homes for a long period of time, but we're finding one, it's 2-story, we have or 3, and we have a lot more steps. We've got all that stuff in the basement. We have a lot more yard than what we really want to take care of now, although we may love it and hate to leave it and make a change. I think as we move forward, and I can speak from this, we came from a very large house, downsized to something a little bit smaller, and now I'm in a much smaller house by myself, and my husband passed away, and I have less yard to take care of, and it's really been a great move. So I sort of did it gradually, and I was downsizing as I went. Was it difficult? Yes. Do you miss the things you had before? Yes. But I think that's all part of aging gracefully. You have to start thinking about, this is the next step. I've got to move forward. I've got to look for other options, other alternatives. What happens a lot of times is we wait until we really need all of those things. So the trick is really to start researching ahead of time, and that's where we can help you. We have the Elderwerks senior directories, which are here today. You will see them on our booth as you go into the resource center at the gym. All of the resources that we know of in the state of Illinois for seniors. And as you're going through those directories, if you do see things that should be in there that would be helpful, always let us know. You can email me, you have my email there, because we add every year. So we'll be coming out with our next annual directory the beginning or first part of November. We have about 1,500 changes every year. So this is a good place to start looking. The one thing I mentioned to you in that directory is that all of the senior housing options and in-home care options, the phone numbers listed that are not advertised, so on the listing, all come to our consultants. So just call us directly and we can help you. Retirement living is one option. It's an active lifestyle. This is sort of like a Del Webb, just what we were talking about. Independent living communities, where you're still independent like you are now. We're going to go through all of these. A group home, continuing care retirement communities, assisted living, supportive living. If we need more help, there's memory care and Alzheimer's care. Sheltered care, skilled nursing, what we have known in the past as nursing homes. Home health service, someone that comes into your home. Home care services, and a respite. We're going to talk about all of these. So active lifestyle, houses, condominiums, much like Del Webb has. There's also several that are going more south. Del Webb has another location in Elgin. 55 and over to live there. They have all types of activities and variety of options for you. Do as much or as little as you want. You're really still living like you're living where you are now, but things are right there and available for you. Fabulous opportunity to meet other seniors, other people that are making some changes in their life and getting rid of some of those extra things that cost us a lot of work and time. They have a wellness center at most of them. Maintenance free, meaning a lot of them are new, a lot of them do the lawn service. I can tell you Del Webb's the ones that I'm in independent housing, so we have our own lawn people coming in. But there are attached housing and townhouses where that's included. And they always or usually have a community center. Independent living is really going into a community. So you could think of many of the senior communities that you've seen. Some are different than others, but if you think of the ones that you know of, for example, Heritage Woods, the Garlands, Friendship Village, those are specific types that we'll talk about, but they have independent living levels. Independent means you have minimal medical problems, meaning you don't need someone to oversee your medications and that type of thing. Usually they are apartment complexes, so you have apartments. Some of them do have townhouses. They're well equipped, they have everything, and can vary in size. You can have different types of meal packages. So you can maybe have 1 meal a day, you can be on the meal plan, or 3 meals a day. Laundry is on your own generally. Sometimes you have a washer and dryer in your unit, not all the time. But housekeeping on a regular basis, weekly basis usually is included. A group home is really where there are few residents and they have live-in caregivers. So sometimes we have families that will call us and say, my aunt, my mother, someone in my family, my husband has some beginning memory issues, but I really don't want to put them into a community where there's, you know, several other people, hundreds of people, lots of apartments, that kind of thing. I'm looking for a smaller home-like environment, and that's what these group homes are. It's privacy in a home-like setting. Very often they're usually in a neighborhood, and they will take care of meals. They home cooked, usually right there. They have staffing that does all of that. Medication management, meaning that they will dispense pills, oversee that they're taken, know exactly what needs to be done. Personal care, showering, assisting with toileting, and more. Depends on the group home. Continuing care retirement communities. These are called CCRCs. This is what the Garlands is. This is also what Friendship Village is. Both of those locations are a CCRC continuing care. Usually these are on a large campus, which as you are familiar with those, they both are. They give you all levels of care. Generally there's an entrance fee. So easy way to think of it is it's a buy-in. So what happens is you can usually do a home, a condominium, or you can do apartments. Most often they will only accept people buying in, coming into the community permanently, excuse me, with either independent living or assisted living. When you need longer and more care, they don't accept you coming in at that point for most cases. There are some exceptions. What happens in a continuing care community of that type is you buy in for a certain amount of money. Now everybody always says, gee, I wonder what that's going to be. Well, that depends, one, how many needs do you have? It also depends what your age is. Because what happens is the community takes that, in most cases, takes that initial investment and is invested for all of the people that are living there. The goal at continuing care communities, CCRCs, is they say we will take care of you for the rest of your life. So in other words, if your assets are depleted, you run out of money, you don't have enough money to take care of yourself or to live someplace, they will not kick you out. They will keep you. So what happens is you will go into this community, you will buy in for a certain amount of money. That can be anywhere from, depending on age and several other options, maybe from about 150,000 up to 300, 400,000, depends what kind of unit, how many of you, how old, what are you looking for, variety of options there. Really need to check directly with all of them. We can do that for you. You buy in, you move into the apartment or condominium, you will still have a monthly fee. Now, if you were out just looking for a rental community, a community where you don't buy in, and you're looking at monthly fees for independent or assisted living, you'll find that the fees will be a little bit higher. Well, that's because it's lower at the continuing care because they already have a base amount of money that you've purchased in to live there. In addition to that, you'll have a monthly fee. What you have to keep in mind is, as you need more care, more help, you need them to oversee your medications, you need somebody to come in for shower standby. Let's say you've had a knee or hip replacement and you need somebody to be there. Those add to the cost, so that monthly fee will increase as time goes on. And you need to move into assisted living, you need more help, they will continue to help you, and your monthly fee will continue to go up. If it gets to a point where you are not able to pay that monthly fee, let's say that you need extensive nursing care or you need memory care, and your liquid assets are depleted, they now start offsetting it with money from your original investment. And then if that is depleted, they'll offset it by putting you as subsidy on Medicaid. They don't tell you that, but that is how it works. But that allows them to take care of you through end of life. So there are some advantages to that as well. Assisted living is just that, independent with minimal medical problems and some dependency issues. Medication assistance is available. Activities and programs, full or partial kitchens. They have laundry service, on-site nursing care up to 24 hours a day. Keeping in mind that most every place that offers assisted living will say to you, we have a nurse available 24 hours a day. Depending on how much care you need, the question is your nurse on site 24 hours a day? Or if my mother needs help in the middle of the night, do you have to call the nurse to come in? And that varies from different communities. So those are things to be aware of. They have scheduled transportation. There's all of these outings, things to do, central dining area for meals, and assistance with activities of daily living. ADLs, those are called, activities of daily living. Can you shower? Can you feed yourself? Can you monitor your own medications? All of those are activities of daily living. Medicaid, subsidy for Medicaid when you're out of money, is not accepted in assisted living. Memory care are secured properties. Those are properties where they are locked. You want the loved one to not be able to leave, to wander, to try to get out. Sensitive to memory needs. If you have someone with memory care and you're looking and we're talking about it, the first thing I'll say to you when you say you look somewhere is, what's the programming there? And most families will say, programming? What do you say? I love the way the place looked, or they were very nice. You need a certain amount of engagement, a certain amount of programming for people who have memory needs. Memory care facilities will give you that. They take Alzheimer's and dementia patients. They have activities, they provide meals, oversight. They're structured their days to meet their needs. Anyone with memory care or dementia issues, they always say, meet them where they are. Medicaid is generally not accepted. Sheltered care. Sheltered care is, there's a list here, but what I'm going to say to you is sheltered care is the highest level of care between assisted living and nursing home. There are not a lot of communities that have sheltered care. It's a somewhat limited license within our state. But we do work with communities that have it. So what that says is if I have somebody calling me and their loved one needs a higher level of care, but doesn't really need to be in a nursing home, I will often look for someplace for sheltered care because they can allow a higher level of care. They have a Hoyer lift, which assists people if you are a two-person assist. If it takes two people to help someone to the toilet, help someone in and out of bed, that's called a two-person assist. You cannot put that person in assisted living. They're not licensed to be able to do that by the state, and they don't have really enough caregivers to do that. So you need a place that can accept two-person assist. Sheltered care could do that, or a place that has a Hoyer lift. We know all of those things. There's a lot of ins and outs. We work with all the communities ongoing, so we're able to really inform you and give you those options for you to look at. Skilled nursing facilities, I think I can say with great assurance, probably the last place all of us want to be. But it does happen. And skilled nursing is 24/7 nursing care. Meals are served in the dining room or sometimes at bedside. It's meant for long-term needs. Unfortunately, people think of skilled nursing that they saw when their grandmother was there. What you have to remember is there are people that need 24/7. If you need somebody, have someone that needs that amount of care and they need to go to a skilled nursing facility, what I always say to families and loved ones is, remember that you're going to arrive there and it's going to be a diverse population. You're going to see people that have all types of needs. And those people all need a certain kind of help. So you're not going into Brookdale, you're not going into the Garlands in independent living, or you're not going into, many of these others that we see here. You're going in somewhere where everybody has needs. A lot of people are in wheelchairs, a lot of people are sitting around. Everyone says, I hate that when they're all sitting around not doing anything. The reason they do that is to get them out of their rooms, get them where people are going around doing activities, nurses, aides, and so forth. Something is happening. It's some type of stimulation. So that's the reason for that. We can help you with skilled nursing facilities. Sometimes they're covered by Medicaid for long-term care. Not every nursing home offers long-term care, permanent residency, if you need Medicaid. So that's another issue to be looked at. We'll talk quickly about this and then go back to the types of care. A home service agency is a non-medical provider. So if you come home from having knee surgery, hip surgery, the hospital, you've been in rehab, you're going home, but you're not really sure that you can do everything on your own, we could get a home service agency for you to come in. They'll come in hourly, they'll come in for as much or as little time as you need. I always say to families, try to plan 4-hour blocks because scheduling is easier and you have more ability to get the same person repeating. They'll do meal preparation, light housekeeping, errands, some laundry, assist with showers, all of those things. They cannot distribute medication. They can stand there to be sure you're taking it and say, here it is, in the pill bottle, but they cannot distribute it by federal law, okay? Home health is a professional medical care in the home. They can distribute medication. These are people that are provided by registered nurse, PT, OT, that type of thing. So they can do all of that. They also do wound care. So if you've had wound care therapy coming, that's through home health. Usually ordered by a doctor. Works on a care plan with the doctor. So they're ongoingly updating him. It's not like an endless situation that they'll be there for a long period of time. Generally covered by Medicare or personal insurance. And they can help you with all personal care. So you really want to find places that maximize your dignity, privacy, independence, choice. Family involvement is encouraged, that there's a lot to do when you're there if you wish to do it, or as little, but that you can live as independently as possible. One thing I want to mention to you, I think it's important to know, in the state of Illinois, if you run out of money and you cannot pay, and you have to apply for Medicaid, I'm not talking about Medicare now, which covers your drugs in the hospital, Medicaid, additional assistance for funding. In this state, if you are in a facility and you have memory care and you've been on private pay and now you can no longer pay, you will go to skilled care, nursing home care. So we really do not have a lot of options on the interim. Now there is another type of license here called supportive living. And a supportive living is a specialized license at a facility where they can take private pay or people with Medicaid. So you're going to have a variety of people there, and usually it's independent and assisted living only. There are a couple of locations here. Heritage Woods, South Elgin is one. There is another one in Aurora, Asbury Gardens, that are under a supportive living license with a memory care facility on site. If you were on Medicaid and in memory care at those facilities, because of the way it's structured, they should be able to keep you on Medicaid. But usually their wait list is 3 to 4 years. So, and they have clients coming from assisted living moving over. So it's a very tricky situation, difficult to maneuver, and depends on timing as well as many other things. So that's why we always say, call us, we can help you. We'll help you navigate what you need and what those options are, and be very honest with you, and then you can make a decision. But we give you several options to look at. Make your decision sooner rather than later. Socialization. We're socializing here right now. Very, very important. And personality is very important in choosing a new place. I have clients that say, my mother's never going to get out of her room, or my dad, they don't want to do anything now, they're never going to do anything. They're not engaged, I'm not interested that they have 400 activities. They will engage them because they'll be eating in the dining room together, they'll be meeting people, but they want to do their own thing in their own apartment. And that's okay. That's okay. But those are not people that you send someplace that has 150 activities a week, because they're not going to be interested. Money determines affordability. Location, near family if possible. If you don't have family in the area or you need something else, we can always help you with that. There's many of us in that situation. Determine the needs. And then once we send you some options and referrals, we always give you several to look at, 2 or 3 to start with, that are the best for what you're looking for in our opinion, through our work. Then we tell you, make an appointment and go take a look at them. And once you think someplace is maybe what you're looking for, then I say drop in unannounced. Go there at odd times, see what's happening there. You can tour and see these places and communities that have senior living 24/7. They always have management and staffing that can take you. So no problem. Know the value of your assets and what your assets are before you go. Your income, your pension. Those are all things we'll talk to you about when you call. So if you can give us an overview of that, which is always very confidential, we know we're sending you in the right direction. If someone's dealing with $150,000 for the remainder of their life, we're not going to send them someplace where the apartments are $8,000. Or if we have memory care and we have limited funds. We work a lot with elder law attorneys. Very important step to be sure things are set up right for everyone. Things change, we have to be ready for change. Personal income is what pays for moving for this type of care. Care in the home as well as going to communities. Do not take insurance unless you have long-term care. And there's very few of those, and all of the policies have so many different options. So we can point in the right direction to somebody that can look that over for you. Private health insurance, usually not. Life settlements, veterans aid and attendance, we do a lot with the VA. You cannot be on Medicaid and also get veterans benefits. But if you're getting veterans benefits or you're the spouse of a veteran and you need help, you're also eligible for veteran benefits, which a lot of spouses don't realize. So basically, we're support services. Ask us, we can help you. We deal with senior move managers, trust managers, accountants, elder law attorneys. Any resource you need, we'll be glad to try to help you find it. Jim, right on the dot. Usually I'm way over. Do we have questions, concerns? Yes.
You said the two-person assistance, one option was sheltered care, what was the other one?
If you are a two-person assist and you need assistance for two people in and out of bed, sheltered care may be an option depending on the situation, or skilled nursing home care. It's all driven by the license through the state and federal. I'm around all day as luck would have it. So if you have other questions, feel free to ask me at any time. I'll be over in the resource area by the Elderwerks booth out here. I'm always open. If you can fill out your application or your evaluation, we'd appreciate it. And then I think it's during lunch.
Yeah, we have a raffle drawing during lunch. If you're not here and it's legible, we'll mail your prize to you. And you have until 9:30 to either go out and get coffee, visit with the dogs that are out there, or we also have the resource booths that are open in the gym. So you've got about 30 minutes before the next 3 different classes are on.
Excuse me, how is the donut selection? Still there? Yeah. Let's get down to it.
Yeah, donuts and coffee.
Kidding. Don't miss the resource booth, though. We have over 90 tables in there, lots of communities. They're not here to sell you something. They're here to let you know what's available. We have elder law attorneys. We have lots of people in there. So please, please go through the resource booth.
Yeah, and also you get your goodies, your candies and your bags, so that'll make it worthwhile.
Yeah. Oh, certainly. Yes, I have one right there. There you are. It's yours.
Well, let's see if that.
I just opened it
I think
this
it's
morning.
the one above where it says green. Turn it to red.
Well, I can't do everything.
This one?
Left, yeah.
Where it says
That's it.
power?
Let's try that.
Step the power.
Well, let's try that.